Hi, kindergarten friends. This is an F book this week. So those of you that have been reading E's, you might want to try this book and do an F book with me. We're doing what are called folk and fairy tales this week, which means that there are stories that have been told and told over and over again in different ways. So some of these stories you might have heard before, and others it might be your first time, and that's okay. But all of these are retellings. So they're not the original story. An author took the story and then changed it a little bit. And so this story, I believe we read in class earlier this year. It's called Stone Soup. We read it at the beginning of the year. It had very different looking characters. Remember, we had the soldier who went to the village and was hungry and was trying to figure out a way to get some food. But everyone was kind of hungry, and so he came up with an idea. And so in this one, we don't really know what he is. He could be a soldier as well. And he goes to a village also, but there might be some things that are a little different, or maybe it's the same as you remember. So in this story, I really want you to focus, because you already kind of know what happens. It's exciting that you get to focus on the details of what you see in the pictures and how it matches the words you're reading. So go slow and do that. The other thing, as an F reader, I really want you to start working on what's called fluency. And that means when you're reading, it shouldn't sound like this. So I'm going to open a random page, okay? She saw the pot. What is that? She said. It's very robotic. Okay. So when you guys read that way to someone and they're saying they're trying to listen to the story and they're like, oh, okay, there's a pot and someone's asking a question, right? It's kind of boring. So you want to use what's called a storyteller voice to bring it alive. And what I do is I read something first in my head or out loud with that kind of robot voice. So I make sure that the words are correct. Then I go back and read it again. And this time I bring it alive. Like I understand the words, I know who's talking, and I can think about how they would put the emotion of what's happening into those words. So here it's talking about this woman, and she saw a pot. She saw the pot. See how it sounds different already? What is that? She asked. Oh, she said. I gotta pay attention, don't I? So notice how I used a question voice with my question. I didn't say, what is that? She said, right? So really practice that storyteller voice as we read today. All right, Stone Soup. Stone Soup. All right, you read first. This story begins with a little stone. So even though that's the narrator's voice, you can still add some intrigue, some excitement to get your reader like, ooh, what is this little stone? Little stone sounds kind of boring. But this story begins with one. So if the whole story is about this stone, it must be good. So you got to change that voice. Do you want to do it with me this time? Okay, let's do it. This story begins with a little stone. Good job. Okay, let's keep going. Make sure we look at the picture first to understand what's happening. All right, you read first. A man came to town. He had no food, but he had a plan to get some. Now, the only thing I wonder is his plan to get some, is it like a tricky plan? Is it like a naughty plan? Or is it a good plan? Like, I'm going to do something good. I'm going to go work for money and then buy food and do right. I'm not sure yet. So I wasn't sure as a narrator how to read that. So I'm going to kind of leave it in the middle, right? But he had a plan to get some. So it could be good, could be bad. Let's find out. He put a stone in a pot of water. He put the pot on a fire. Bubble, bubble. Ooh, we have our first character speaking. So choose a voice for her, for this girl that you want her to be saying things with, right? So if you think the little girl sounds like this, what is that? Then you go use that voice. But choose whatever voice you think should come out of her, because you're the reader. You get to decide. A little girl came by. She saw the pot. What is that? She said. Now we have the man's voice. It is stone soup, said the man. Put in your carrots and I will share it. So the girl did. Wow. Ooh, I see a pattern emerging, friends. Next, a tall boy came by. He saw the pot. What is that? He said. I see the pattern again. It is stone soup, said the man. Put in your potatoes and I will share it. So the boy did. Next, an old woman came by. She saw the pot. What is that? Oh, I didn't like that voice. What is that? She said. It is stone soup, said the man. Put in your meat and I will share it. So the old woman did. They all look pretty happy right now, huh? Ooh, it's changing a little bit. Watch for the change in the pattern. More people came by. They all put food in the pot. They put in beans and corn and rice. What a nice smell! At last the soup was ready. Bubble, bubble. The man gave soup to the people. They ate it. He ate it too. Yay! So he wasn't naughty and saved it all for himself. They really did come together to share the soup. It was the best soup they ever had. Said the people. Let's make it again. I think it was special because they all added something, right? The carrots and the potatoes and the meat, they wouldn't have been as good separately. But when you put all those ingredients together, it makes something so delicious. And it all began with a little stone. Ooh, so these are called comprehension boosters. And what that means is they're not necessarily about little things in the story. Like in maybe your D book, if you watch the D or the E, it's just questions about the story. Like, did you understand the words that were in it? These ones, a booster, means hopefully that the question makes you think deeply about what happened in the story. So you have to have some sort of opinion about what's happening rather than just this was the character's name or there was a cat in the story. You really have to think about it and explain your thinking, okay? So you guys can write answers to these and send them to me. I love to read your answers. Number 1, how did the man turn water and a little stone into yummy soup? All he had was a soup, the a pot and a stone and a spoon. How did he get yummy soup? Number 2, the people in this story shared food. How did sharing help them? And number 3, the man who made the soup was wise. Use 3 more words that might describe him. So what else? How would you describe him? Adjectives, the things that you think about him. Awesome. I'm excited to read your answers, friends, and thanks for reading with me today about stone soup.